If we could all come to attention, please. And why don't we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance? We have a flag over here on my right, your left. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. I'm very pleased to see a lot of people in the auditorium tonight. Thank you for coming out on this cold evening to give us some input on town and school district budgets. Just to introduce who we are, my name is Cynthia Couture. I am the chair. And if you could just wave when I call your name. Kerry Douglas is vice chair. Jen Bork is member. Jessica Martin, Brian Hodgkins, Jack Whitnell. I don't think Jack is with us tonight. Nicole Forty. John Brunel is the selectman's representative, and Robert Myers is the school board's representative. We began our preparation in October. For 2 weeks in October, we had the town administrator and department heads come talk to us about their needs and wants. One of the things that limits our preparation is a tax cap calculations on the proposed budget. We made the final decisions on our budget on October 25th, and I just point that out so that if you want to watch it on YouTube or take a look at the minutes, you have a date that you can look at. All of our decisions were made at that one meeting. So we take a look at actual spending. We usually look at a 3-year average. As I said before, we do look at the tax cap calculation. So this is the proposed budget, plus warrant articles cannot be more than $175,000 greater than last year's approved budget after calculating revenues. So change in revenues does allow a larger base budget. We look at the rationale for why the departments are requesting their budgets. And then we take a look at the financial ability of the town and what is a reasonable budget to present and request. So the selectmen's budget, $6,790,753 was proposed by the Board of Selectmen. The Budget Committee on October 25th went through every department and made reductions of $32,800. The Budget Committee's budget is $44,703 above the current default budget for the town, and the proposed budget is an 8-cent increase on the tax rate, and that, again, that's based on revenues and town valuation. This is just the wording of the warrant article. The selectmen have approved it. Have they? They're waiting for the Budget Committee approval. Okay, so both recommendations are pending. The Budget Committee will be making its recommendations tonight after the hearing. So some of the major areas of impact. Police administration. Last year, if you recall, an additional police officer was approved by the town. We are looking at an increase in information technology. It was basically our internet access and some additional equipment. General governmental buildings, a little bit, and that was due to, with the new fire station coming online, we're still going to be responsible for the old fire station, so some estimates of those electrical costs, and then there's an increase in gas. Fire department, there's an increase. It has to do with wages and training and overtime. Some replacement of equipment due to age, malfunction, or end of life. These are typically things we see in every budget. An estimate of the utilities for the new station, and there was an increase as there's a new dispatch contract. Fire hydrants, $34,000 increase. This is a cost that Penachuk passes on to the town of Litchfield for our 249 fire hydrants. And then the biggie, the first bond payment on the fire station, that's $258,960 in increase. So what did the Budget Committee do? We made a reduction to the Board of Selectmen's account, to the Town Clerk's account, to legal expenses, to the Planning Board, general governmental buildings, Fire Department, road maintenance, vendor payments, Parks and Recreation, Library, and Conservation Commission. And I know these are all very small, but this, I'm going to ask that this, both the presentations be put up on the town website so people can take a closer look at them if you want. After the main budget, the next is the police contract, to see if the town will vote to approve the cost items for wage and related costs that have been included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the town of Litchfield and Council 93 of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, which provides for the following increases in wage and benefits at the current staffing levels, and further to raise and appropriate the sum of $37,909 for the current fiscal year, such sum representing the additional costs attributable to the increase in salaries and benefits required by the new agreement over those that would be paid at the current staffing levels. The estimated tax impact on this article is 4 cents. So you see the 2019, as already been stated, is $37,909. 2020 financial impact is $24,942, and the 2021 impact is $4,764. This has been recommended by the Board of Selectmen, and it's pending the Budget Committee. So just a little overview of this contract. It's effective April 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. Again, the amounts have already been stated. Regular part-time employees change from 21 hours to 24 hours per week. And part-time employees, there's a new definition, a clarification that part-time employees are not eligible for benefits. Salaries, there are step increases and promotions are now based on a performance review. There were adjustments in the COLA so that the cost of living increases now apply starting July 1st, so it was moved from April 1st to July 1st. The first one is July 1st, 2019. The second one is July 1st, 2020, and both of those are 2.5%. There was the adoption of non-union longevity payments. For 10 years of from 10 years to 14 years, it's $500 per year, or each year, excuse me. At 15 year to 19 years, it's $750, and over 20 years, it's $1,000. Earned time, this was a big one that the town really was trying to reel in some of the accrual of earned time and how it can build up. So they eliminated earned time buybacks for regular part-time employees. And then there's a maximum accrual for employees hired before April 1st, 2014, a maximum accrual for those hired after April 1st, 2014, and a maximum accrual for employees hired after April 1st, 2019. So it reduces them significantly from 960 hours to 660 hours, from 660 hours to 500 hours, and then from, hours. Okay, I was right the first time. And then the last one is from 660 hours to 320 hours. So that's a pretty significant benefit to the town. Medical and dental, there's clarification that part-time employees pay 100% of medical and dental premium costs, and the current level of medical stays the same. This was something that happened last year. It was effective July 1, 2018, where it changed the rate to 80% paid by the town, 20% paid by the employee for HMO plans, and employees who remain on the point of service plan pay 100% of the increased costs at a maximum out-of-cap pocket of no more than $3,000. Health services and health agencies. So this is to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to support human services and health agencies that provide services to the town of Litchfield. If approved, a committee consisting of the welfare director, health officer, and one resident will review funding requests and submit recommended funding amounts to the Board of Selectmen for approval. The estimated 2019 tax rate is 3 cents. This is recommended by the Board of Selectmen 4-0 and pending Budget Committee recommendation. These human services and health agencies are the nonprofit organizations that support Litchfield residents. There are several organizations that throughout the year provide services. At the end of the year, they send a letter to the selectmen outlining what kind of services they offered and what the dollar cost would be if it wasn't, if there was to be a charge for it. And what they do is they ask for a donation back to help defray the costs of the services they provide. It's something that has passed in previous years in various forms, sometimes in the budget, sometimes as a separate warrant article. So this is a little bit of a different way that they're going to do it this year by having a committee look at the various requests and make a decision or make a recommendation. Town Earned Time Accrual Expendable Trust Fund, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the Earned Time Accrual Expendable Trust Fund as previously established. This sum will come from the unassigned fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. Estimated 2019 tax rate impact is 0, and it is recommended by the Board of Selectmen pending the Budget Committee. Technology and Communication Expendable Trust Fund, to see if the town will vote to establish a Technology and Communication Expendable Trust Fund per RSA 31:19-A for the purchase and repair of technology and communication equipment and software, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the fund. Further, to name the selectmen as agents to expend from the fund, this sum to come from unassigned fund balance and no amount to be raised from taxation. The estimated 2019 tax rate impact is 0, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 5-0 and pending Budget Committee. There has been some considerable need to update communication and technology in the town, and that comes at a huge price tag. So the selectmen are looking to start putting away some amounts each year to help defray that cost when the actual projects are needed. Land purchase, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $90,000 to purchase a parcel of land in the town of Litchfield described as Map 30, Lot 1 on Hillcrest Road for the purpose of making ingress and egress safety improvements to the transfer recycling facility and highway garage, and to provide for the future expansion of operational needs. This sum is to come from the unassigned fund balance and no amount to be raised by taxation. Estimated 2019 tax rate impact is 0, recommended by the Board of Selectmen 5-0 and pending recommendation from the Budget Committee. There's a parcel of land around the entrance to the current recycling center that has now become available, and the town is looking into the future by purchasing this land to be able to make a better safety entryway with that hill and the curve there. It seemed like this is a time to make that purchase. This is very hard to see, but this is just a look at the tax cap to see how it is calculated, and assuming that all of the dollar impact articles are recommended by the Budget Committee, it would still be under the tax cap by $6,118. Estimated tax impact, the operating budget would be 8 cents, which would be $28 on a house valued at $350,000. The total proposed increase with the other two warrant articles would be 15 cents, and that is an estimated $52.50 increase on a house valued at $350,000. And at this point, if there are any questions or comments or input, we would be happy to take that. And state your name and your address for the record.
Ralph Bohm, 6 Gibson Drive. Did I hear you correct that even with
all the warrant articles, it's still below the tax cap?
Yes.
Thank you.
As I said before, that it also depends on revenues and increased valuation of the town. So as long as our valuation goes up, then we're able to accommodate more in the base budget. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. All right, let me see if I can get up the school district budget now. All right, I will now open the school district budget hearing. We are still the same people up here. So again, the budget committee received the school district budget in November. The superintendent business administrator presented priorities, enrollment projections, and a look at revenues. The budget was reviewed by each department and location over 3 meetings during the month of November, and with input from each of the department heads and educational professionals, part of those different departments. On November 29th is when the budget committee met and made all of its budget decisions that night. So again, the November 29th meeting is available to watch on YouTube and a set of minutes if you want to take a closer look at what happened. The decision was made to reduce the budget by $240,000. And again, as I said earlier, final votes will be tonight after the hearing. So again, we look at the same actual spending from the previous. We like to get a 3-year average. We look at the priorities that the school district has presented to us. We look at year-to-date spending of the current budget. We listen to why money is being requested and for what, and any background data that's presented. We also take into account every year now and every year going forward, there's a loss of revenue from state reduction and adequacy aid. So we take a look at the impact that has on the budget. And then we try to determine what's a reasonable budget to bring before the community. So the school district submitted a budget that was $443,546 more than last year's total approved budget. That would have been a tax increase of 63 cents. But this also reflects a 4% reduction in stabilization grants from the state. We are now at 84%, and these 4% reductions will continue until the grants are completely phased out. Even if the budget was level funded dollar for dollar, the tax rate impact would be 24 cents at a level funded budget. So the budget committee made $240,000 in reductions, and that is still $203,546, or just under 1% more than last year's approved budget. And that less than 1% increase has a tax impact of 36 cents. The default budget is $24,055 less than the proposed budget. So both budgets are pretty close together. And I know there's a question every year about how sometimes default budgets can be more than proposed budgets. I will tell you, even though the current decisions by the budget committee mean that it's only $24,000 more than the default, there are members who feel that it could be cut even more, which would result in a default budget that would be higher. So that's a bit of a explanation of why that can happen. Article 1, shall the Litchfield School District vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forward on the budget posted with the warrant, or as amended by the vote at the first session of the annual school district meeting for the purposes set forth herein, totaling $22,865,429. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $22,824,871, which is the same as last year, with certain adjustments required by previous action of the Litchfield School District or by law, or the school board may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:13, 10 and 16 to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. The estimated tax impact is 36 cents, and that's the operating budget, and the estimated tax impact of the default budget is 34 cents. This is recommended by the school board 5-0, and it is pending recommendation by the budget committee. Some of the major areas that had an impact on the budget. The biggest part of our budget is salary and benefits. And so that would seem to, that makes sense then, that the largest impact to the budget is our salary and benefits line, which is $486,792 increase. And this also reflects the budget committee reductions. We are looking at retirement payouts of $52,000. It's an increase over last year. Our dental insurance, a $15,000 increase. New Hampshire retirement, a $96,890 increase. New Hampshire employee retirement is a slight decrease of $21,870. Our health insurance, we actually lucked out this year. There was the smallest increase that I can ever remember of 1.7%, but because of some one-time credits, the actual rate is down 1.1% for a decrease of $4,397. The other area of impact is we've seen an enrollment increase at the elementary school. The day before school opened this year, they had an influx of first grade students and had to bring on an additional first grade teacher at the last minute. They're also seeing an influx of kindergarten students, so they will be increasing the kindergarten staff and supplies and furniture to accommodate that increase in students. Looking at the various departments, special services is down $168,000. Technology is down $38,700. Campbell High School is down $24,500. LMS is down $4,860. Again, GMS, the increase is attributed to the increase in students. Superintendent's office, the business office, and the school board are about $48,000 of a decrease, and transportation is $27,000 increase. They are in the middle of negotiating a new transportation contract. There's anticipation that that number will decrease, but we've not received any final numbers yet. Budget committee action, a reduction of $40,000 to special services transportation. This is historical underspend. At the time budgets are prepared, you're basically looking at a worst case scenario. Between now and the new school year, there are able to be savings and that are had, and so typically you spend less on transportation. Co-curricular salaries were reduced by $21,000. This is a historical reduction based on programs that are not run or positions that are not filled. Athletic salaries saw a $5,000 reduction based on positions that are typically unfilled. Salaries and benefits, the committee made an attrition reduction, $174,000. There's a historical underspend in retirement, paraprofessionals, attrition of employees leave and new employees coming, healthcare, and Social Security. Other proposed reductions that were not supported by the majority were additional cuts to special services, curriculum development, technology, specifically Chromebooks, supplies, and transportation. Article 2. Shall the Litchfield School District vote to approve the cost items included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the Litchfield School District and the Litchfield Education Association, which calls for the following increases in salaries and benefits at the current staffing levels. Year 2019-2020, an estimated increase of $394,429. 2020 and 2021, an estimated increase of $374,294, and year 2021, 2022, 346,391. It says 2012, but that's a transposition. And further to raise and appropriate the sum of $394,429 for the fiscal year 2020, such sum representing the additional costs attributable to the increase in salaries and benefits required by the new agreement over those that would be paid at current staffing levels. The estimated tax impact is 44 cents. This is recommended by the school board 5-0, and it is pending recommendation by the budget committee. Contract overview. The first year increase, $152,749 of that total increase is a step adjustment for 25 staff members. These adjustments are to reflect years without step increases due to years that a contract did not pass. After the increases in year 1, in year 2 and year 3, the salary schedule is adjusted by a 2% cost of living. It removes the requirement for non-union employees to pay yearly union fees. There's a reduction in sick days. If you were hired before the 16-17 school year, there is a reduction from 15 days to 12 days and able to carry a maximum of 125 days. If someone was hired the 16-17 school year or after, the reduction is from 15 sick days to 10 sick days and the ability to carry a maximum of 110 days. If a staff member needs to substitute for a colleague during the school day, they will now be compensated. It establishes a committee to review co-curricular stipends. It changes and clarifies workday length, retirement dates, grade level subjects, a doctor's note for 4 or more consecutive sick days, and it clarifies the calendar year. Increase in longevity payments, years 15 to 19 increase from $1,500 to $2,500. Years 20 plus increase from $2,500 to $3,500. It increases the district's health insurance percentages and decreases the employee contribution and changes to school care plan yellow. With a deductible of $1,000 or $2,000 choice fund, the contribution is 82%, changes from 82% of the district and 18% of the employee to 89% now for the district and 11% for the employee, where there's a deductible of $2,000 or $4,000, which is called a no-choice fund. There is a reduction of the allotment from 89% paid by the district and 11% paid by the employee to 93% paid by the district and 7% paid by the employee. Article 3, shall the Litchfield School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $28,490 to be added to the operating budget for the purpose of funding salary and benefits for a part-time enrichment tutor position at Litchfield Middle School to support high-achieving learners. This will have an estimated tax impact of 3 cents. It is recommended by the school board 5-0 and pending recommendation by the budget committee. Article 4, shall the Litchfield School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $28,490 to be added to the operating budget for the purpose of funding salary and benefits for a part-time math tutor position at Litchfield Middle School to support struggling and resistant learners. This has an estimated tax impact of 3 cents. It is recommended by the school board 5-0 and pending recommendation by the budget committee. Article 5, shall the Litchfield School District vote to raise and appropriate up to $100,000 to be added to the Building Maintenance Capital Reserve Fund established in 2004, with this fund to come from the June 30th unreserved fund balance available for transfer on July 1 of this year. Estimated tax impact is 0. This had originally been presented to the Budget Committee as $50,000, and by decision of the school board last night, they chose to bring this to $100,000. So looking at the tax impact, the recommended budget is a 36-cent estimated impact, which would be $124.30 on a house valued at $350,000. The default budget would have an impact of 34 cents or $118.56 on a house valued at $350. And that would be if the budget fails. And then the tax impact of the warrant articles is 44 cents for the teacher's contract, 3 cents for the enrichment tutor, and 3 cents for the math tutor. And the building reserve at 0 would be an additional 50 cents for a total of 86 cents on the tax rate. That would be an estimated $297.85 on a house valued at $350,000. Questions or comments?
Hi, Ralph Bohm, 6 Gibson Drive, but I'll speak as your state rep. Last night, if you get a look at it, we had a meeting with the school board, all of our reps discussing school funding. So one of the bills that I know is up there, that is fixing the stabilization. Now, for those who don't know what that is, back in '07, '08, by the way, Litchfield did not have a representative that year. That was the year when no one 13 and they all went to Hudson. That was when, those remember, Litchfield was going to lose $2 million in state funding. And that was going to take effect, I think, in 2011. We fixed that in 2011, so nobody's going to lose anything. So we didn't lose that $2 million. But the problem was that it was $2 million more than we should get, and other towns has the same issue. So they set up, okay, we'll stop reducing that money you're not supposed to be getting anyway by X percent over the years, like 4% or whatever. So I know a simple bill this year is to just stop that, let everybody have what they want, but have what they get. But the problem is also there are a number of bills to change the formula. Which is, now the formula will be ridiculous. The problem with that is how all that works out up in the State House is they print out a spreadsheet and everybody looks to see what they're going to get or lose. So unless the formula has school districts, everybody getting an increase, or most people getting an increase, a rep is not going to vote for it. So in other words, if Litchfield's going to lose money, I'm not voting for it. So the formula. Now, my thing is that there should be more money just for a number of students. I mean, per student, because the total population of the state, student population is going down. So there's more money in the trust funds, and that money could be great. That would be my simple solution, but nothing simple at the State House. So we're working on that stabilization.
I've been here for 25 years, and it's been in flux for 25 years, so anytime it can come to resolution would be wonderful.
Kathleen Paulus, 8 Mike Lane. This probably isn't the place to ask the question, but if you have information on what the LMS enrichment tutor would be, is it math or is it reading? We level our math starting at 7th grade, and so in theory, kids' math should be enriched to their ability and their level. And so I was just wondering what that position would be. They also have enrichment periods in class with a teacher. So I'm wondering what the additional position would cover.
We asked that question, and let me just double check back. It was for resistant learners. Yeah, for struggling or resistant learners was the math one. The other one I thought was high achieving learners. Okay, I thought originally that was language learners, but if you want to jump in.
Sure, I can speak to that.
Thank you.
So this has been a need at the middle school for a long time. We don't have dedicated staff to our high achieving population. Certainly we have staff for other needs, but this is an area that's been a need for a long time. Really the vision of this is multifaceted. The enrichment tutor, we do have an enrichment block right now. It's not enrichment as we would dream it would be, where we're really tapping into getting more complex projects and activities and tasks for our high-achieving population. So this really would target them. Part of it would be during that enrichment time, potentially, but it would also be, there's potential that they'd be working in classes to see what's happening in classes, and then build on that extensions from what's happening in class. So it's not limited to one content area. Actually, it could be a multitude of content areas, including math and reading, ELA.
And so the math one, can you explain that one a little bit too?
Sure. So the math tutor, that's the other end of our spectrum here. This is more the struggling and resistant learners, as it says. We don't have any staff dedicated to that population for math. It's a great need that we feel this position would meet. It would also, like the other position, meet the needs both somewhat in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, so that they could get remediation, extra help in that area.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Gingras. I'm the president of the Litchfield Education Association. I've been very fortunate to teach in Litchfield. Over my 14 years in the district, I've had wonderful students in my classes and the support of wonderful parents. I'm here tonight to ask you to support the LEA contract because it's a good contract. It's a good contract because it will keep quality education in the Litchfield schools. It's a good contract because it will attract good teachers and keep good teachers in the Litchfield School District. It's a good contract because it brings teacher salaries up to par with other comparable school districts in the state. The teachers have agreed to a concession in changing their health care to a consumer-driven plan. This first step leads to savings on health care for the district and the possibility of more savings in the future. Yes, the contract involves an increase in taxes. The tax increase, say for a $300,000 home, is about $130 a year. This is about $11 a month, or about $3 a week. Isn't good education in Litchfield worth $3 a week? Aren't good teachers in Litchfield worth $3 a week? Aren't your children's education worth $3 a week? I hope you will join us and say emphatically, yes, yes they are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Cooper. I'm a social studies teacher here at Campbell High School. This is my 11th year in the district, and I'm proud to come speak on behalf of my colleagues, the teachers in the community. Tonight I want to speak to the Budget Committee and to the Litchfield community about why I believe you should support the contract between the teachers of Litchfield and the school board. This contract is one that is fair and equitable. It is one that represents compromise between both parties, and it is one that rewards teachers for their dedication to students. In terms of salary, the increase to the schedule is in line with the changes in the cost of living, as well as the salaries teachers can fetch in comparable districts. This ensures that quality teachers continue their employment here in Litchfield, and the best of the best look Litchfield's way if and when positions become available. The teachers and board reached a compromise by agreeing to a change in health insurance plans. Healthcare benefits have always been an attractive benefit so that we can attract people to our profession, given the earnings difference between teaching positions and positions in the private sector. We believe moving to a consumer-driven plan with a deductible continues to provide teachers with an attractive benefits package while providing short-term and long-term savings to the district and taxpayers. Finally, the teachers of Litchfield continue to provide a high level of service to your children. We have seen a large number of students attend 2- and 4-year colleges, demonstrate a deep understanding of difficult concepts and cognitive skills, and the teachers to continue to put in hours of work above and beyond the call of duty. Ultimately, the Budget Committee and the voters will have to decide if the cost of the proposed contract is worth the investment, giving the equity of salary, the compromise on health care, and the reward for quality education. I believe you're getting good bang for your buck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Susan Seabrook. I'm a resident at 33 James Way. I'm also a LEA member. It's a very professional organization. I've been a member for 20 years. I've been a nurse at Griffin for 21 years, going on 22. I think this contract is very fair. We have a lot of teachers that have been in our district for a very long time. They care a great deal about the students, and I think they need to stay here and be rewarded for what they do. Their job does not end when they leave the building. They're there early, and they're there late, and they bring home their work every night. They're wonderful teachers. I think that we have to think when we're voting on this that we're also increasing the value of our homes by having good schools and wonderful educators in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other input?
Robin Corbio, 4 Smith Court. I live in Litchfield. I've lived here for 20 years, taught here for 15. And I guess the one thing that I want you to take into consideration as a board is that starting a school year without a contract is never a good thing. So that's my fear and caution. I think this is a good contract. But that's another factor that you need to take into consideration as a budget committee, because what you recommend does project out to the community. They do listen to what you have to say, and that's another factor that plays into it. I think starting a school year without a contract isn't good for the community. It isn't good for the value of our houses. It isn't good for our kids. It isn't good for the teachers. So that's just another factor that I want you to take into consideration when you're considering whether to recommend or not recommend this budget. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina Lepore. I'm from 17 Greenwich Road, and so I am a former student at GMS, LMS, and Campbell High School, and I can't say enough about what the teachers have done for myself and my peers throughout our growing up. They inspired me in ways that still have transcended my academic career and now my future career in medicine. And I think to acknowledge their hard work through supporting their contract would be the least of what we can do as a community for them. They're fantastic, and I also believe that additional support for the high achieving students and the students that need more attention at LMS would be vastly worth the investment for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other input, questions?
Tara Hirschberger, 3 Natticook Ave. I just wanted to say something about the enrichment tutor. One of my kids had the opportunity to participate in the enrichment classes in elementary school and was recommended to participate, and I think it's something that's important for kids. It would allow us to reach kids at all levels, and it really benefited my son. He was able to participate in a group, and they ended up publishing a book that was just astonishing, and it really challenged him in a lot of ways that I don't think he would have been challenged otherwise. Thanks.
Thank you. And that does bring up the point that was discussed at the budget committees. This is a complement to the positions that already exist at Griffin Memorial. So this would bring those same types of positions up to the middle school.
So just to clarify on that position, I fully agree that we need to challenge our higher level learners. And it's great when they get to 7th and 8th grade when math specifically is leveled and they're able to move at a quicker pace to their ability. I think that it is more fiscally responsible if we look at alternative ways of using our curriculum more efficiently and maybe leveling at lower grades so that those higher level learners, instead of leaving their content classes, to go out and do an activity in a classroom to the side while everybody else is doing a lesson, then they're being enriched through their own curriculum and moving forward across their grade level.
Thank you. We're doing good. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? All right. Thank you very much for your input. I will now close the school district hearing. We will adjourn briefly, and the committee is going to go over to the media room, and we will convene our meeting there. Thank you.